Sounds good.
That's promising.
Only breathing through this little hole until 3,500 RPMs. Then your heat body's open. There's 2 codes in the DME. Mass airflow sensor left, mass airflow sensor right. And that is because, where are the maps, Mike? Not here. They're in the trunk. Until later. Hey, look at that. It runs. It sounds great. Runs very well. No timing or vanos or any sort of codes like that. Went for about a 1/4 mile run around the parking lots here at the complex. Everything's good. Ow, that's a belly pan. Jeez, you have so many of these things off when you better storage solution. But so far so good. We're not going to declare a full victory until we actually get out on the road, go do about 50 miles, something like that. We're running on real cheap 5W30, like the Napa special oil, just to flush things out, let the filter do its job. We'll probably let it run about 30 minutes, and we're almost there. It's probably about 20-25 right now. So we'll bring it up to temperature again on Monday. Then we'll do an oil change. We'll inspect the filter. If there's no obvious debris in it, we'll probably keep it. I'm assuming there will be, just from other passages around the engine, at which point we'll change it out again. Plenum has yet to go back on. We're going to pause on that because there's a wiring cover missing in the engine bay over one of the Bank 2 rail for the, well, wiring. Everything is kind of in there. So see if we can get a used one. I don't know that you're not going to be able to buy that new. You'd have to buy a whole wiring harness. So I'll see what I can do. But that's a big step in the right direction today. Thing number 2 is my 540. It's not in here. That's a great sign. It's out front. It's ready to come home with me today. Transmission went in without much issue. Everything's torqued and done perfectly. We cleaned the exhaust, took it out back, and scrubbed it down with a hose and a brush. It was also dirty. So I'll report back on that. My dad cleaned up the Le Mans Blue car today. It looks really good under these shop lights now. So it's done and ready for pickup. Over here, we're still waiting on the return of the ABS module, which hopefully will be next week. This car got more progress today, the 50K mile 02 carbon. Did a bit more on the front suspension. Sergio had put those bolts in backwards. Not a big deal, but Mike's got more experience there. So that's kind of it. That was the whole day between those cars. We took in another one today. This is a 01 or 2 Sterling gray car in for kind of the usual stuff. I don't think it's a full driveline type job, but it's a thermostat, it's water pump, it's, I think, valve cover gaskets. So luxury interior, Alcantara headliner. And let's see, it's an auto headlight car. It could be an 03. I should know this, shouldn't I? March 02, not too bad. So there's already some scope creep. He dropped it off and added a couple things to the ticket, but I don't foresee any parts delays there. Oh, here's the radiator out of the Le Mans Blue car. Look at this. My goodness, it is just caked with debris, vastly reducing its cooling system efficiency. So after a road test today, though today's not as hot as a few days ago when it was creeping up in temps, but it sat and idled in the hot sun just fine, and temps stayed nice and cool. So radiator was definitely the ticket there. I'm gonna get out of here. It's Friday night. Larissa and I are doing the usual naughty barrel. I'll let you know how the 40 does. 540 is driving like a dream. This transmission is super nice to shift now. It's a 545 lever in there, very cute. The new ones are not perfectly centered. This is a bad batch from BMW, so the M logo points slightly to the right. Very annoying. When and if they fix that, I'll just swap the shift lever out. Not a big deal. You saw a minute ago, the battery light's still going. I replaced the ground strap up at the engine bay. It was on backwards. It was on the bottom of the motor mount / grounding point instead of the top. So I wire wheeled everything, put the new strap in there, tightened everything down with clean hardware. Same thing with the negative battery cable at the battery itself. That one was also on incorrectly. So we fixed all of that. Everything's perfect with the grounding. We have 13.8 to 14 volts at idle. Anything below 1,000 RPM with electrical loads on, air conditioning, climate control fan, headlights, all that. And the battery light flickers. I truly do not understand why. If it's a problem that's really going to worsen, I'll figure it out later as it gets worse and we get other symptoms. But in the meantime, I'm almost viewing it as the instrument cluster not understanding what it should have. It might be a bad cluster or something more than an actual problem with the car. So we're almost home. Transmission's great. I'm happy to be back in this and have this car available. And we're going to go eat. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Saturday. I think we're going to do cars and coffee in the morning.